Okay, welcome. I'm just going to show you how to use tinkercad.com, and this is how we are going to send or create files and then send them to the teacher for 3D printing. So you need to open up a Chrome window, and up the top here, just highlighted, you need to type in www.tinkercad.com. Once you've done that, you're going to need to sign up. You need to sign up using your school password and school email, and create a password which you will remember. So once you have signed in, and you may need to use a teacher code, so just see me for that. Once you've signed in and you've got past that step, you're going to come to this page. Now, my suggestion would be to go to the Learn section up here on the top menu bar. So we click into Learn. That's going to take us into some step-by-step lessons on how to learn how to use the actual program. So learning the moves is quite useful, as is camera controls, and creating holes is going to be really important as well. So it's probably worth spending quite a few minutes just going through these different exercises, these lessons, and they're really going to help you. So if we just click back on the Tinkercad icon in the top left corner, that's going to take us back to the dashboard. And I'm just going to go through very simply how to create a design and then how to share it with me. So what we need to do is go Create New Design. That's going to take us into the work plane where we can create our 3D shapes. So this is our work plane. And on the top right over here, top left, you'll see if I click and drag my mouse, I'm holding the click down and dragging my mouse around, I can change the view really, really easily. Now, just to make a very simple shape, we can just click on and drag any shape. So we've got lots of basic shapes here. I'll just scroll down and just show you some very basic ones there. And here we can change the size of this shape. So you'll see these 4 squares at the bottom. If you hold your mouse cursor over one of these squares, it gives you the X and Y sizes. So here we've got a 20 by 20 cube. And if I put my mouse cursor over this top square, it gives me the height, which is the Z axis. So we've got X is probably this axis, Y, and then Z. So if I want to make it bigger, I just click on, hold, and drag my mouse out wider. If I want to make the shape lower, so I want to reduce the Z axis, I click on this square and I just drag the cursor down. Now, let's say, for example, we wanted to create a small little key tag. We could create a flat, quite a low, probably 1 or 2 millimeters. I'm just zooming in there just so we can see. So I've just created a little rectangle, a flat rectangle, and I'm going to go over to this right-hand menu bar and click on Text. Now this brings up text or individual letters. So what I'm going to do is just create a little key tag which says Tech. So I'm going to click on a T and drag it over. If I just put it on the normal work plane, it actually sits at 0 on the work plane. And you can see that if I just put the work plane level, you can see it just sits flat. So if we just put this T and we just click and drag it over to the rectangle, it's actually only going to be a few millimeters of this showing above the rectangle. Some of it is inside the rectangle. So what I can do is click on this cone above and just click and pull upwards with the mouse, and you'll see it's telling me how many millimeters the shape is above the rectangle. So I'm going to go down to 0. There we go. If I go this angle, you'll be able to see a little better. So I'll zoom right in. So I'm clicking on the cone and I can pull up, up, up. If I go any more, so there, if I just go a little bit further there, you can see there's daylight in between. So when we're printing that would be too far up. So we actually need to click on the cone and just take it down to there. That way, when it prints, you can see there's no daylight now. That's going to be connected. So let's just say, for example, I'll just drag in a few other letters. So an E, C, and an H. So let's just say, for example, I finish my tech key tag. I want to put a hole in it because I want this to be able to go on a key ring. I'm going to go back to basic shapes. I'm going to take a cylinder, which is at the top. Now, if we take a cylinder with the lines on it and drag it over, this is going to be a hole shape. So I'm going to make this a lot smaller. I'm going to make it a proper circle. So it's going to be a 4x4 circle. I'm going to take the Z axis down and I drag this over the corner of my rectangle. And if we go to the top view, and I'll just click off, you see when this prints, there will actually be a hole where I put that cylinder hole shape. Now, that's a very simple, very simple beginning kind of design. Now, if you want to send this for 3D printing, these are the steps you need to take. In the top right, it says export. You click on export. Make sure everything in the design is selected, and then click STL. Now, what's going to happen now is that file, that STL file, is going to be saved. I'm just going to save it onto my desktop just so we can see it, and I'm going to rename it Tech Keyring. So save. That now saves onto my desktop. So I'll just put this Chrome window down on the bar, and as you can see, the file is sitting there on my top left. Now, bring Chrome back up. I'm just going to open up my school email. I'm going to go to Compose Mail. And then you need to send it to tom.payton@wis.ac.nz. You can just put your name. I'll just put tech. And then you need at the bottom, go to the paperclip attach files. I need to click desktop because mine's on the desktop, and tech keyring. Now, I'm not going to send this because this would be sending this to myself, but then you just press send, and then I have the file. So once you've sent me the file, I can then print it. So that's just a very basic overview of how to use Tinkercad. If I wanted to create another design, I could just click back on the Tinkercad icon in the top left. That takes me back to the dashboard, and it automatically saves, as you can see in the bottom left, saves the work. So there you have it. Tinkercad, just a very brief explanation.